Hey guys, I wasn't planning on talking about this particular subject today's video. However, I'm really excited to share with you what I just got in, which was my Rubbertoe Replicas 10th Dr. Sonic Screwdriver replica. Fans of my channel know that I'm a big Doctor Who fan. If you've seen my Instagram and my Twitter and everything else that I have throughout my videos, I'm a big Whovian. I have loved Doctor Who since I was 3. I've been through it all. I've been through regenerations from the 3rd Doctor all the way now to the 13th. And there's something about this show that's always really drawn me, but like any other of the properties that I love, Star Wars and Arrow and Superman, all those, really comes down to the costume and props. And I mean, when you first started getting into Doctor Who back when I was a wee lad, you know, you had long scarves and you had the TARDIS on the console, K9, and of course you had the Sonic Screwdriver. Now, I wanted a Sonic Screwdriver so badly when I was younger, and it wasn't until the reboot started, because I mean, you couldn't get replicas, you couldn't get toys anywhere here in Canada, and it wasn't until the reboot started back in 2005 that suddenly all those things started becoming the thing you can get. You could get toys, you could get bath fizzers, you could get little LED torches of the Sonic Screwdriver, and I was really excited to get on that. And not only that, I was really into the new Sonic. The previous Sonic was very analog, and because of that, it was kind of cool. It had a halo on it. The Doctor still used it to do lots of different things, and it still had that very classic Sonic Screwdriver sound. But when they rebooted in 2005, they wanted to kind of update it for today's audiences, and one of those things specifically is adding a light. But they also added a few new things. One thing I really liked about the new design was the fact that it was a little more compact. It was a little more of a tool. It was like it could be a pen, it could be a torch or a flashlight, it could be a tool of any kind, and I've always really enjoyed that of it. But it had some really cool features. One thing I really like, which I'm going to show here, was the original concept art, and I just wanted to quickly show this before I get into my actual review, just to show where it was originally supposed to be. And they tasked their prop masters with such an impossible task that they had to kind of scale it way down and come up with something that was really workable on film. Now, the really interesting thing was back in 2005, and they went to the prop makers to make this. They went to a company called Aztec, and they made 2 different ones that you see all the way through the history. I'm not going to touch on every point in this video about the history of the Sonic Screwdriver, specifically the Russell T Davies era. The character options toy was based on the original version, which has been changed here and there. There's been several versions of that, even a new version I just saw recently. And it's really neat to see how we've seen the prop. One of the most interesting things right off the cuff that I mentioned way back in my One Company review was the fact that the character options toy really made you feel that the Sonic was small when the replicas came out. But the Rubbertoe replica was one I was really looking forward to, mainly because as the series progressed on the show, Nick Robotto became one of the makers of many of the props that you've seen. So worked on the 10th Sonic, the 11th Sonic, the 12th Sonic, and even Jodie's 13th Sonic. So he's had his hands pretty much all in there, and on the side he does make replicas, which is really fantastic. So just jumping into it right away is the fact that it comes in this really great tin. I'll do some close-ups, we'll see that shortly. Nick has always, and many of the products that I've had from him in the past and seeing online, is that he does put a lot of attention to detail into the actual packaging, and it's always been a really cool thing to see. So first off the bat, you have silkscreen graphics on the faceplate here. Otherwise, it's just a regular nice tin. You're immediately grabbed by a card, which does have my edition number, which is 212. It was a specific request of mine, plus a letter from Nick. But then the next cool thing is the fact that it immediately has more Gallifrey, but laser cut into the foam. Honestly, with a little window peek into what's inside. And honestly, that's the coolest part. When you remove that layer, you do get the Sonic. And you can see 2 other pieces and more Gallifrey laser cut into it. Immediately, the Sonic is beautiful. It has a lot of details that really help it shine. One of the most difficult things to have in any replica of this particular Sonic Screwdriver is the crackle finish. And Nick nailed this for a couple of reasons. One is he used the exact paint that was used for the series when he worked on it, when it was replaced and repainted and all that kind of stuff. And it is an Eileen's crackle paint. He kind of got all of it to be able to do these replicas. So as far as I know, you're not able to get this paint, you're not able to find it, and he's not able to use more replicas to put this paint on. So that's the unfortunate thing, because if if any damage ever happens to this, there is 0 ways to make sure that you can touch it up. So as much as you let it get battered and wear and you put it in your pocket and get grease and change the color of it, the paint, it will end up being more accurate and more authentic. Depends on how much you care about your actual replica status and display. So haven't decided that yet. But overall, the dimensions are all there, right from the blue tip with the white LED. The cage support is great. The slider handle based on the ones that he made for the show, right down to the plastic end cap. It's beautiful. The acrylic light bar, the blue bar in the middle, also very fantastic. Just beautiful. This is a beautiful piece. It does slide, and it has the yellow wires on the inside, and it does make light, and it does have sound. So that was a request. I think if I recall correctly, you could choose whether you wanted sound or not, and I definitely want sound, because what fun is a sonic screwdriver if it doesn't have any sonic to it? The sliding on it is very different than what I was expecting based on some of the other replicas I've handled in the past. Mainly, it's quite secure when it's in there, and you can slide it fairly free, but it won't stay up on its own. That is something you have to do yourself. There's no way to click it open and to have the halfway thing. You kind of have to use your hand to do any of that. One thing to note is that Nick, when he puts sound in his Sonics, does use the character option sound chips. I think he's got some sort of agreement with them to do so. And really, the Sonic sound is really great. It's really clear, and they've done a great job over the years in their Sonics, and this one is no exception. Now, Nick did make this probably the loudest 10th Doctor replica Sonic that I've ever had, and that includes the character options toys, as well as every version I've ever had. And I'm gonna just turn it on here. I don't know how this is gonna sound through my camera into YouTube land, but I hope that you can pick it up. I'll do a little comparison here in a moment with my other Sonics. So here is the closed. And the sound speakers are kind of in here. So as soon as you open it up, it's quite loud. I don't have a problem with how loud it is, mainly because in a convention, if you do have it, it's gonna be heard no matter what you do. Some of the problem with the other Sonics I've ever had is that you can't really hear them in a convention. I've been in group photos with everyone, you hear the buzzing, and you don't really hear it all. So that's kind of cool. If you do want to take this around, it's quite loud. That's an amazing thing to do with it. So really, I'm cool with that. The light's great. It's not super bright. I don't know how well the camera can even pick it up here. It's fairly accurate as far as the show, because you didn't want it to blind anything. My San Holo one is much brighter. So just to show this, there'll be some close-ups. I'm sure they're dimensionally pretty close. This one has had some wear and tear based on me just handling it and playing with it. It's way quieter. It is stiffer, so I can actually stop it from going anywhere you want. And it's brighter. So really, as far as that's concerned, it's pretty good. I may end up repainting this at some point, and the cool thing, again, about this is that I can beat it up. It's great. I got it secondhand at a great price, so I'm not as worried about dropping this or having it roll away on me or anything like that. But you can definitely see the wear and tear on it, and this has the Colony Cream paint, I believe, or basically what a lot of the earlier ones had. So it's fairly accurate in its own right. Very similar to the Millennium Effects, actually, as well. So the other thing, too, about this being a character options Sonic is that it does have a number of sounds. So the first sound, we'll just open it up here. And the second sound, it does have the triple click sound. And the forward press. So it does have a little bit of play. I do miss the fact that the Wand Company one was able to have, like, you know, half a dozen sounds. That was actually pretty cool to show off. And I think that in the end, you get what you want. You can kind of click, because it has that waiting period. You can't really do that whole tap, 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 click that David Tennant does a lot, where I can do it on this one. So again, a detractor for it, but as a whole piece, this is amazingly beautiful. Like I said, I got some fear about losing it as far as damage wearing it, having it worn down, having the paint chip, having the paint be unable to be touched up ever. Those aside though, this is a beautiful piece, and the stand it comes with, which I'm going to show here as well, or I've already shown here. Nick did an absolutely beautiful job at Rubbertoe Replicas, and honestly, this is my first Sonic from him. I've handled all of them when he's been at Gallifrey 1 convention. And when I first held this one, I was like, ooh, I want this. It's beautiful, it feels great, and I can't wait to show it off to friends and other people. Again, I just don't know if I'll take it to conventions. That's really my only takeaway from this as far as anything negative. There's a couple little things that I've given here, but overall, this is a beautiful, beautiful replica. I highly recommend, if you can get one, to definitely do so. And I look forward to hopefully getting some other ones one day as well to kind of review on here. So anyway, if you guys have any comments or questions, ask me down below. I'm going to try and have some more videos of this on my Instagram and maybe even TikTok, so make sure you join me there with This Justin Online. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for bearing with me. We've hit 6,000 subscribers, and I can't believe that. I'm so excited. But thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing, and thank you so much for being so patient with me these past few years. We'll see you next time.